Hello friends, today on PlayStation News, the PlayStation Portal gets a huge upgrade, 14 PS Plus games will be leaving in December, some PS5 Pro games have issues, Sony aims to buy From Software and more. Let's get to it. We start with great news if you have or want the PlayStation Portal and also have PlayStation Plus Premium, as the device is getting a huge upgrade. Sony is rolling a new system update that adds an audio boost, letting you adjust speaker audio output to make the volume lower when the level is set to minimum, plus the option to adjust settings for PlayStation Link devices like the PlayStation earbuds. But the big deal is that cloud streaming for PlayStation Plus is being added to the device, allowing premium members to stream over 120 PS5 games directly to the portal without needing a PS5. The list includes titles such as Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, all playable in up to 1080p and 60 FPS, with DualSense features like haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, touchpad and motion sensor. Cloud storage will also sync your save data automatically up to 100GB with your PS5, so that you can also switch easily between devices. There's some limitations to the beta as it's only available in the 30 countries that have PlayStation Plus Premium. Some features such as game trials, streaming games you own, or system options like party voice, friend invites for select games, create button, 3D audio and in-game purchases are not available. The streaming is also said to be limited to PS5 games, with PS3 and PS4 not supported, but it's not clear if they will be supported after the beta or it will remain like this. To enter the beta, you must open the quick menu and access settings on the portal and toggle the cloud streaming option on. It's a great addition and one that I believe should have been there since the beginning, and I hope when it gets out of beta it lets you stream PS3 and PS4 games as well, or it will feel like a missed opportunity. Now, do you have a portal? What do you think about this feature? Let me know in the comments. Let's continue with PS Plus, but now to talk about the games leaving the catalog for extra, deluxe and premium users next month. Yesterday we got this month's update with games such as GTA 5, Dying Light, Like a Dragon Ishin and Resistance 1 and 2. And with that we now know that 14 games will be leaving next month, including Mega Man 11 for PS4, Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2 for PS4, Dead Island and Dead Island Riptide Definitive Editions for PS4, Judgment for PS4 and Judgment Remastered for PS5, Strangers of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins, Moon Scars, Grind Definitive Edition, Tinykin, Prodeus, Gigabash and Evil Genius 2, all for PS4 and PS5. There's an update to this story as there are 3 other games leaving for a total of 17, including Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York for PS4, Solstice and Metal Hellsinger for PS4 and PS5. They will all be leaving on December 17, so you have about a month to wrap them up. Are you playing any of these PS Plus games before they leave? Share with us in the comments. Next, while the PS5 Pro has done good in first week sales as we talked about in the previous video, it wasn't a smooth launch with games tagged on the PlayStation Store as enhanced even if they are not. And now there's other issues as PS5 Pro users are reporting games such as Silent Hill 2 and Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which are Pro enhanced, actually look worse on the upgraded console than on the base PS5. For Silent Hill 2, fans on Reddit noticed shimmering effects, especially on puddles and trees, when switching to performance mode. Plus, quality mode is still stuck at 30 FPS with no major improvements. The culprit, according to Digital Foundry, seems to be the PS5 Pro's new PSSR upscaling tech, which tries to boost resolution but ends up causing visual instability in detailed textures like foliage or reflections. Developer Bluebird team did confirm they are working on a fix, but there's no timeline on when to expect it yet. Jedi Survivor is facing similar issues, with Digital Foundry showing how the Pro version suffers from severe image quality problems in performance mode, with visible shimmering and flickering. EA says they are investigating, but again no specifics on when to expect a patch. Fans are understandably frustrated, and with both EA and Bluebird team working on fixes, let's hope we see some improvement soon. Do you have a PS5 Pro? Have you experienced any of these issues? Sound off in the comments. Before our next story, here are some quick-fire gaming news. Remedy says the upcoming Control 2 will now be a AAA action RPG, and it has a 50 million euros budget, aiming to sell 3 to 4 million copies, while FBC Firebreak will launch on PS Plus Extra and Game Pass with a 30 million euros budget. The original Control has sold 4.5 million units, and Alan Wake has moved 1.8 million copies, nearing profitability. The Soul River Remastered bundle is exceeding pre-order expectations ahead of its December release, as Embracer revealed in a recent investors call. The Blood Omen games are now on PS Plus, so we only need a Defiance re-release, and hoping all of these perform great for the future of the series. Ubisoft has released a surprise patch for Assassin's Creed Syndicate, adding 60 FPS to all platforms, with 4K available on PS5, PS5 Pro and Xbox Series X. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, the surreal puzzle game from Simogo and Annapurna Interactive that was recently nominated for Best Indie Game at the Game Awards, will finally arrive on PS4 and PS5 this December 3rd. A new rumor from Nick Baker at the Xbox Era podcast indicates that From Software could be working on a Dark Souls 3 remaster, pushing the 1080p 60fps visuals from the original and improved performance. Let's stick with From Software news, since the Game Awards has generated quite a discussion online after nominating Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth 3 for Game of the Year. This after the organization updated their website FAQ to include that expansion packs, new game seasons, DLCs, remakes and remasters can be considered for all categories including Game of the Year. It may be the first time this appears on the website, but it has been like this the whole time, with remakes being nominated for major categories but DLCs only made either ongoing or specific genre ones. Previous examples include Resident Evil 2, 4 and Final Fantasy VII Remake up for Game of the Year, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Blood and Wine as Best RPG, winning that category in 2016, Killer Instinct Season 2 nominated as Best Fighting Game in 2014, Mortal Kombat Ultimate Edition was up for Best Fighting Game in 2019 and won that as well, Life is Strange 2 Episode 1 was nominated for Best Narrative, and Cyberpunk was up for 5 nominations last year, including Best Narrative, Best Performance, Best Community Support, Player's Voice and Best Ongoing Game, which it won. And there are more examples like that. There's always been some controversy on a game that was nominated on a different category than it should, and they need to review the rules and tell fans how it works, because no one reads that on the website. We should have known that this was possible since the beginning instead of just being shadow drop over the weekend, as it gives this vibe of being a shady move. Many critics like Greg Miller from Kinda Funny have pointed out that DLC deserves to be a Game of the Year nominee, with tons of people replying that it shouldn't. The poll that we did here on the channel is still mixed, with 41% of you saying that it depends on the type of content being nominated. I don't mean any disrespect to From Software's work. It's one of the best reviewed pieces of content of this year, and I think it should be celebrated, just not as a Game of the Year. And that's simply because it's a piece of content for a game released in 2022, it doesn't stand on its own, you can't just play Shadow of the Earth 3 without playing through Elden Ring first. It would have been way different if it was like Miles Morales, Uncharted Lost Legacy, Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon or Halo 3 ODST, and many other games that were conceived as DLC or a prologue, but were standalone game experiences. Elden Ring already shined as a 2022 game, and this feels like it's taking a spot that could highlight any other AAA title such as Silent Hill 2, Dragon's Dogma, Stellar Blade, or indies like Animal Well, which would be huge for a solo indie developer just like Balatro. We'll see what happens at the awards. It's not like this makes me mad or anything, I just hope for better consistency and communication from Geoff Keighley and his team. But what do you think about a DLC being nominated for Game of the Year? Voice your thoughts in the comments. We continue with more From Software news, as Reuters is reporting that Sony is in talks to acquire Kadokawa, the parent company to the Elden Ring studio. Sources cited by Reuters and Nikkei say the deal could be closing in the coming weeks, and it could have a significant impact not only in the gaming landscape but also in entertainment. Currently, Sony holds a 2% stake in Kadokawa and a 14% stake in From Software, but acquiring the entire company would bring all their assets, including popular anime franchises like RE0 and Delicious in Dungeon, under Sony's umbrella. And this aligns with Sony's ongoing strategy of expanding its presence in anime, having previously acquired Crunchyroll and Funimation. On the gaming side, it would add From Software to Sony Interactive, but it's unclear if it would be on a similar standing to Bungie or as a PlayStation studio. From Software games have become so popular, with Elden Ring hitting 25 million copies sold by June 2024, that if the deal goes through, it would remain to be seen if Sony decides to make future releases exclusive or time exclusive to PlayStation, or if they will continue as a multi-platform studio like Bungie. Adding From Software's pedigree as a first-party studio would be huge, but there's also the fact that their games have become popular being multi-platform, and it would be a bad move if future games became exclusive. And yes, Bloodborne was exclusive, but according to Insomniac League, it sold about 7.5 million copies compared to Elden Ring's 25 million. As for anime, Sony almost has a monopoly in distribution, so we have to wonder how this deal would be scrutinized. Besides that, mergers usually bring layoffs, but I believe Japanese companies handle this different to Western ones. Sony has not commented on the deal as of recording, but Kadokawa did, confirming that they have received an initial letter from Sony to acquire company shares, but they haven't made a decision at this time, so we'll see what happens in the future. But what do you think about From Software possibly being a part of Sony? Let me know about that and all of the other news that we talk about in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a thumbs up, sharing and subscribing, as it helps me continue to grow this channel. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.